Hey guys, Karibo Bros here, and this is the second attempt at filming this deck profile. Quick tip for anyone who either has a YouTube channel or is debating whether to start a YouTube channel: make sure there's always enough memory in the device that you're using to record your content. Don't forget to delete that recycle bin. So anyway, this is ABC, obviously, as you can tell. I'd say it's my favourite deck in normal Yu-Gi-Oh, to be fair. I do love playing normal Yu-Gi-Oh as well as Speed Duel. I'm probably not the most competitive, mainly because A, I'm not that great, and B, I don't enjoy spending the vast amount of money on meta decks. I was quite annoyed that what's it called, Adamantipator became very expensive, because when that was first showcased on MBT's channel, I thought it was just going to be a rogue crap deck building set deck. So I thought I'd be able to pick that up pretty cheaply, but no, that's not the case. But anyway, a deck you can pick up fairly cheaply is ABC, because they reprinted the structure decks quite recently and you can buy them in shops. Now, I'm hoping that soon enough I'll have to make another video on this deck where we change the extra deck to include more copies of ABC Buster Dragon, because for some stupid reason this card is at 1. Now, I can only assume Konami thought, with the new Master Rule coming in, people will flock back to ABC and not buy a new product. But as I say, they've reprinted the structure decks. They're available in shops, so hopefully this will come back to 2 or 3 on the ban list. So we'll quickly get into the deck and just explain my reasonings for cards, etc. Right, starting things off, unsurprisingly, 3 copies of A, 3 copies of B, and 3 copies of C. So obviously these can all be equipped to machine monsters you control. They each have different effects when they are equipped to a machine monster. A makes the monster that it's equipped to unaffected by monster effects. B makes it unaffected by spell effects, and lastly C makes them unaffected by trap effects. All of these cards float, and I think that's why I enjoy playing the deck so much. So you can just continuously gain resources throughout the game. So A, when it's sent to the graveyard, either destroyed by battle or linked off, literally just when they are sent, can add back a union monster from your graveyard to your hand. B lets you add one from your deck to your hand, and C lets you summon one from your hand. So they're the main components of the deck, and play 3 of each. Move them to one side. Next, we play 3 copies of both Gold and 3 copies of Silver Gadget. So these cards are quote-unquote starters and enablers, and to a degree are extenders, so they fit in all 3 categories. So when they are normal summoned or special summoned, you can special summon a level 4 or lower machine type monster from your hand. So if you have Gold Gadget and a Union Hanger back in, well, last year that would have been ABC Buster Dragon. We can obviously make ABC Buster Dragon alone now with Hanger, but that's why it's also an extender and a starter, because this can help us end on ABC Buster Dragon and a rank 4. So obviously when these are also destroyed, they float into one another, but you can only use each of the effects per turn. So you can't normal summon, special summon another card off one of their effects, have it destroyed, and then float. So just bear that in mind. 3 copies of each. 3 copies of Galaxy Soldier, because playing Infinity in a deck is amazing. Massive Ash target this as well, so if you do have this in hand, you can maybe try and bait out your opponent's Ash by summoning this first before activating a card such as Union Hanger. 3 copies of it because we need it. To accompany Galaxy Soldier, we do play the 1 copy of Photon Orbital. So when this card is equipped to a monster we control, we can banish it from the spell and trap card zone to add a Galaxy Soldier from deck to hand, and then enable our Infinity plays. We've played 1 copy of Union Driver. We'll equip Union Driver off either Unauthorized Reactivation or Union Hanger, and we can banish this card from our spell and trap card zone to equip another machine type Union monster from our deck to the card that this was equipped to. So what we'll do with this most of the time is we'll activate Hanger, summon a piece, equip Union Driver from deck to the piece we've just summoned, banish this to equip a different piece, and then summon the piece from our spell and trap cards, and we've equipped it from this, because Hanger has the restriction that we cannot special summon the piece that we've equipped it to from it this turn. So that is those monsters. Carrying on, we play traditional hand traps. So 3 copies of Ash Blossom, because again she's the best hand trap for the 5th, 6th format in a row, and 3 copies of Nibiru, because every deck summons more than 5 turns, but whether or not this is an effective card is questionable, especially against Adamantipator, which can more than likely play through it. However, it does hurt other decks more consistently. So we do play it, and obviously it can just help us wipe our opponent's board, as well as giving us a 3k monster. Onto the spells. 3 copies of Union Hanger. If this card ever gets hit, it's probably the days of the deck are over. But 3 copies of Hanger. It's our searcher, and it also equips pieces to pieces that we summon. Our 4th copy of Union Hanger in Terraforming, also another great Ash target. 3 copies of Unauthorized Reactivation. This card is amazing, and obviously came in the Gear Revolution structure deck, or whatever that deck was called. So basically this card lets us target 1 machine monster we control and equip 1 machine Union monster from our deck to that target. So we can, I don't know, if we have, say a gadget, or any machine, we'll activate this, equip one of the pieces from the deck, and use that piece's effect in the spell and trap card zone to special summon it. So we could equip B, special summon B, go into a link 2 and use B to search another piece. It's also a quick play spell card, so if you need to, you can maybe bluff it as a trap, activate it in your opponent's turn when they go to destroy it with maybe a Nightmare Phoenix. 3 copies of Called by the Grave, because this card comes up so good, and I really need to get myself copies of this that are not common. Probably do have them somewhere, but anyway, Called by the Grave. We can use this obviously as a quick play spell card. We can use it in our turn and our opponent's turn. So we can use it to continue our combos or just interruption in our opponent's turn. This, a Buster Dragon, and an Infinity is really good against an opponent's board. You have to play your cards quite well, and you have to reserve your interactions, but it can be enough to get you through a turn. 3 copies of Pot of Desire. If you banish all 3 copies of 1 piece off this, your day is pretty much over. But it's a +2, and we do need to play it. Helps us with the consistency. And then 2 1-offs, Instant Fusion to help us get Parasite out so we can go into rank 5s more quickly, and Monster Reborn. We are playing a 41 card deck. If you really wanted to take it down to 40 cards, I'd maybe suggest taking out the Monster Reborn, simply because it is only an extender in this deck. That is the main deck. No trap cards. We were originally playing Skill Drain, and I think that is a card you still could play in the deck, but I've just chosen to take it out. Onto the extra deck, the 1 copy of the big boy himself. Hopefully we'll get 2 or 3 of this in the next ban list. Buster Dragon. So obviously it's we pitch a card from our hand and draw another player's turn. We can banish a card on the field, and then during our opponent's turn we can tag this card out to special summon the 3 pieces that we've banished to our side of the field to summon this card. It's just a very, very good card. The second fusion monster is obviously Parasite, which is the instant fusion target. Going on to the rank 4s, we play Abyss Dweller, because this card is amazing in this format. Just shutting off your opponent's graveyard is amazing. Tsukiyomi, we don't make this card as much as we used to, but it does still come up where you'll have that last piece in hand. You'll have 2 monsters on the field, and you can overlay them to ditch them, to draw another 2 cards and summon out Buster Dragon. Daigusto Emerald, because we are only playing the 1 ABC Dragon Buster and we need to recycle it, and this lets us put other cards in our deck from our graveyard into our deck and let us draw. 1 copy of Tornado Dragon. I just like this card at the moment. I like being able to use it against Eldritch, pop in their back row when and if we need to. You could probably take this card out for another rank 4. I was debating whether to play Castell for a while actually, or maybe even 101. Those 2, those really old Xyzs that were like really good a few years ago, we'll hardly see play now. But they are both spot removal, so depending on however you want to take the deck, feel free to adjust. Play the rank 5 package, well, rank 5 and the rank 6 cards with Cyber Dragon, Nova, and Infinity. So we literally just overlay Parasite Void, usually with a Galaxy Soldier, go into this, and then into this we got an Omni Negate. Onto the links, we play the 1 copy of IP Masquerena, because being able to make a Unicorn, a Cerberus, or a Nightmare Phoenix on our opponent's turn is really good. Also, she protects when the monster that is summoned off this card is unaffected by our opponent's effects. Let me read that. Cannot be destroyed by our opponent's card effects, rather. So she does offer protection for the link monster we summon out on our opponent's turn. 1 copy of Union Carrier. This card's made this deck a lot more consistent. As I say, this card now makes Union Hanger a 1-card Buster Dragon. So we'll activate Hanger, add a piece, summon a piece, equip off Hanger, Union Driver, banish Union Driver, equip a 2nd piece, summon the 2nd piece, link into this, and then we'll equip the 3rd piece. for ABC Buster Dragon. One copy of Platinum Gadget. So it does come up quite often where you'll have maybe this comes up quite a lot when you don't come in when we don't draw a hanger or unauthorized reactivation. We might have a gadget and a piece. More often than not, when B will summon a gadget, summon the B, link into this, get a search, use this effect to summon out the other piece we've added, and then depending on what other cards we've got on hand, we'll continue our plays and usually end on a Buster Dragon. Both of these cards cannot be used as link material the turn they are summoned, which is a pain in the ass. I mean, I understand for Union Carry because it's used by every deck imaginable, especially for that Buster Well block. But Platinum Gadget is just a massive drawback how we cannot link with it at the same turn. Continuing, we play the Nightmare package. We play Cerberus. I think this is a very underrated card, this format. Phoenix and Unicorn. So he will basically be making these off IP Masquerena in our opponent's turn. Usually after we've tagged out with Buster Dragon, we've banished the card. We will then use IP Masquerena and hypothetically, let's say, B Buster Drake to go into one of these. So when we do pitch a card from our hand to activate one of these effects, B will regurgitate us that card in hand later on. So we're not going massively negative on advantage. And the last card in the extra deck, we play the one copy of Bovelo Dragon. Loads of people like to play Bovel Sword over Bovelode, but I just don't like how weak Bovelode is. Bovel Sword is. So obviously, Bovelode cannot be targeted. Bovelode cannot be. Where are we? So yeah, neither player can target this card with monster effects, whereas Bovel Sword can be targeted by our opponent's card effects. So I do like the added protection we have through Bovelode, and also Bovelode has the good ability where we can reduce our opponent's monster's attack by 500 as well as take control of it. So again, I mean, that's just my preference. Feel free to change the extra deck around however you feel, but that's just how I like to take the deck. So that's the 15 card extra deck and the 41 card main deck. As I say, this is one of my favorite decks. It's very easy to play. It's a rank 4 toolbox and it's link spam, so it's a very enjoyable deck. Let me know what you think below, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.